What's up, everyone? Eric Lima here, New Bedford, Massachusetts resident CHP, crazy half Portuguese over here, bringing to you another video episode from the pilot mini series. That's right, my pilot mini series, bridging from the second season of the recently completed EML-77 TV and going to fill in during the holiday season to lead into the new season that will happen next year. WEML-TV, Channel 77, the YouTube station identification of Eric Lima, yours truly. So, you are watching the Bridge Up episode 36. Let's get right into it. Let's get right going because I've always loved. This is the second version of WFW Thoughts. What's WFW stand for? Wrestling Fantasy Warfare, where I think we think about some like what could be crazy matches. We saw a lot of competition rising from the WWE now. Not just the WWE, we got AEW, we got Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. We got AEW and Impact kind of working together in a situation where Kenny Omega is the AEW World Champion. And it'll be something be very interesting to say the least. Check this out. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. And my friend Bon Baskin, once again, came up with a great idea. I love it when I can do these segments, and it'll be a regular segment on my new channel, so to speak. On my new seasons, I should say, because I can change the name of this channel, believe it or not. So right now it's EML-77 TV, but it is what it is. Check it out. He asked me, what if Kane, the Big Red Machine, went up against Walter, I should say. Not Walter. Not the dummy from Jeff Dunham, who's always grumpy. Shut the hell up! Hey, dumbass! That guy was funny. But that's not the Walter I'm talking about. The Walter I'm talking about is possibly the longest reigning NXT UK heavyweight champion right now. Versus the Big Red Machine Kane. Now, Walter. I say Walter because he's German. Even though it's from Austria, and that's how you pronounce it. Walter is about 6'4", about 300 pounds even. Kane's sitting near 7 feet. You're talking about 330 pounds almost. You're talking about the height, weight, and experience goes to Kane. Imagine those two when added. Now, Walter always believed in mat being sacred, always bringing technical wrestling skills, pure wrestling skills, and all, which is great. But when you go up against Kane, though, however, it is something to because you have to use your power and strength, but you can't outpower Kane. You can't outpower Kane. You're gonna have to. He's gonna have to go in your backyard, and he may force you to go in his. Kane's all about brawling and punching and slamming people. Walter is all about getting the ground game going and all that, which is amazing for a big man. But after I see Walter's match against Ilya Dragunov for the NXT, those two went at it. You're talking about chops. I mean, Walter can chop with the best of them, man. I looked at Ilya Dragunov's like back and chest. I'm like, somebody get the grill. We have hamburger meat on. But I'll tell you what. If Walter can withstand Dragunov, can he withstand Kane's attack? And I believe can Kane withstand Walter's attack? That'll be very interesting to have. Now, what to say if Walter says, okay, I can't beat this guy by myself. Sometimes he's gonna need Imperium's help. Well, Kane can have Big Brother Undertaker to back him up, or other partner, the Big Show. I mean, Kane and Big Show can handle 4 members of Imperium. But Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner on NXT, they're trying to get into contention for the NXT. So, you're talking about conquering. Walter and Kane be an interesting matchup. Both men can go at it, chop for chop, punch for punch, blow for blow, but I think you talk about the wrestling skills go to Walter on this one, and Walter can wrestle Kane to the ground. But the main key is, and to take a phrase from Jim Ross, that you got to take Kane off his vertical base. That's the main key. If Walter can do that, he's got the advantage. But as long as Kane's up on his 2 feet, Kane's always got the advantage. Plus, he's got the edge and experience as well. So I say this matchup, I call it an even matchup between those two big gentlemen. And think about it though. How about Brock Lesnar versus Walter? Now that's going to be an interesting matchup to say the least. Brock Lesnar stands the same height and almost the same weight as Walter. Now you talking about, but Brock Lesnar's got the MMA style as well. So you're talking about an excellent matchup indeed. And you know, how about Lars Sullivan? Now we have not seen Lars Sullivan they've been saying he's not been showing up on SmackDown tapings, but Lars Sullivan versus Walter. Now that'd be a heck of a matchup to say the least itself. And how about Walter versus The Undertaker? That's another one I would love to see. That would have been, what if The Undertaker was in his prime, against Walter, and how would Walter fare against the Dead Man? Like Kane, the Dead Man relies on his power and brute strength. If you don't get Dead Man off his feet, you don't have that advantage, and that's where I believe Walter has the advantage in wrestling skills. But to say the least, Walter could have an advantage of some of these great legends. You're talking about, let's see another one. Walter versus PCO, Pierre Carl Ouellet. I don't know if he's related to Maurice by any chance. I don't know if he is. That's be very interesting to see if that's the case. But I think Maurice's last name Ouellet is also Ouellet, but it's spelled differently. That's the thing. And it's spelled the same way. I thought it was without the E. Anyways, be very interesting to look into. But anyways, like PCO is he's been known to be impervious to pain. So you talk about him on a chopping match with Walter, forget it, man. I'll tell you one thing right now. Walter better learn how to grill American style, because he could be serving up hamburger meat with those chops. Man, I'll tell you what. Walter is going to be a great wrestler. He's going to be even bigger. The WWE is going to give him a huge opportunity. I just personally believe that. So it's going to be a lot of fun to be you got that going. Let's see, who else can Walter going up against, let's say, Drew McIntyre. Now there's a heck of a matchup right there. And it's Walter versus Sheamus. There's two great potential matchups. You talk about European battles. Drew representing Scotland, Walter representing Austria. Imagine those two going at it. I say get the chops, and I'm sure power for power, brawl for brawl, move for move. Same thing with Sheamus, man. Walter will chop Sheamus so hard, Sheamus' skin's going to turn color. You know what I'm saying? Forget to be in a jar of mayonnaise, he's going to have a little ketchup to it. Ew. No, but anyways, with all those chops, man, like I said, man, I think the possibilities are endless with Walter, man. That's going to be something else to think about. If Kamala was still alive, how would he fare against Walter? That would be a heck of a fight. What about Umaga if he was still alive against Walter? You talk about this. Umaga can be impervious to all those chops Walter gives him, and both men could even brawl and beat the heck out of each other. You're talking about Batista versus Walter. Walter can really match up with some of the biggest dudes ever. He's not afraid of anybody. I gotta respect that from Walter. So that's gonna be something else. That's going to be an interesting situation, to say the least. But Vaughn, when Vaughn Baskin gave me Kane versus Walter, I'm like, I can run with this. So that's what I decided to do. So imagine some of the big men, some of the best big men. How about JBL versus Walter? That's going to be a heck of a matchup. I can see JBL is like 6'6", almost 300 pounds. You're talking about this. That would be an even fight. There won't be a wrestling match. That'll be a fight. I can see that happen. So how about anybody in AEW versus Walter? Lance Archer could stand a chance with him. MJF's bodyguard Wardlow can match him. Jake Hager could match Walter, the former Jack Swagger. Imagine that. Oh, boy. Oh. How about Moose in Impact versus Walter? Well, Rhino versus Walter. Ken Shamrock versus Walter. Now, there's a matchup I would love to see. Get Ken Shamrock back to the WWE. Hey, I want that Walter kid. Imagine that. Ken Shamrock can really teach a lot of people lessons, man, in that ring. But let me tell you, Now the possibilities are endless with Walter. Seriously, the NXT UK Heavyweight Champion, and so that is going to be. I, it's my mind is blown on this one. My mind is blown on what possibilities that could be with Walter in that ring. And just that one name alone. Well, Walter versus Goldberg. Come on, Walter and Goldberg. Come on. Oh, Walter versus Miro, aka Rusev. Now there's another international matchup. I will, you know, lots of. I just wow. Watch for Walter though. He is going to be the longest reigning NXT UK Heavyweight Champion. Mark my words on that. He may surpass Pete Dunne, which is even going to be more interesting to say the least. So that's my thoughts on Kane versus Walter, and Walter versus anybody big and mean enough to take him on. I would love to see any of those matchups. So if you guys have an idea of what wrestler you want me to talk about in my WFW thoughts, leave that wrestler's name on the comments section, or start off with a match, and I can go on from there. That's when I can like build on that, so to speak. Build on. Okay, Kane versus Walter. Okay, that way I can build up on. Okay, who else can take on Walter and all that good stuff, and just that's what I did here. I started with Kane versus Walter, and then I started building up who Walter can face from there. So that will be of how the matches are and all that. So I'm really good. All right, that's all the time we have here. Episode number 36 of The Bridge Up is complete. But before I leave, just to let you guys know what is going on, we have here in New England, in Massachusetts, we have a humongous winter storm coming in. There is a potential of a lot of inches of snow, and make for snow, EPA. And I don't like driving in the snow. I don't like going shoveling the snow and all that, but I may have to do that at the mall. I may be there all night. All day, all night. I'm not so sure what in the world's going on. It's mind-blowing to say the least. It's mind-blowing to say the least of what's been going on and what has been happening. So I may not be on here as much this week because I may have to do some catching. I may have to do a lot of catching up, and in between, possibly shoveling snow and possibly, and I don't know what's going to happen though, to be honest with you, with the pandemic and how we're going to work this out, because with the pandemic, the malls, like I said, the mall has lost a lot of money in there, so they had to tighten up their budget. So I don't know how they're going to let us, work all these long hours just to shovel snow. I'm sure the mall and my bosses will figure out whatever. So this is going to be an interesting situation we are put in for the very first time. Humongous snowstorm here during the middle of a pandemic we're still in, and so it is a situation. I know a vaccine is coming out, so there's a pretty good chance things can get back to normal. But at the same time, it's a major concern. There's a rumor because the governor has decided to scale back on the reopening of the economy, going back to step 1 in phase 3 of that reopening plan. But they say if the numbers get worse, we may be looking at a total shutdown or total lockdown at the end of the month. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens though. But the weekend will help. I'll have the opportunity to catch up on everything. Recap NXT UK, SmackDown, whatever. Because I usually have that I usually have the Saturdays off, so that's a major thing to that's a major deal, to say the least. Another thing too is that next week it is Christmas week, and because of that, I'll still be on, because this is the interesting thing. I'll be working only 4 days next week, only 4 days, 20 hours, because Friday is Christmas. We all have it off. I have Saturday off and Sunday off. So I have a 3-day weekend ahead of me here, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the long run. So I just want to get through this week first, and hopefully through next week, hopefully the holiday season will be over. Once the new year hits, I can relax and worry about what's going to go on in the year and everything else, and look forward on the show and not whatnot. So if you don't see me on here either, I probably won't be on all day Thursday. So it's something that it is a it's going to be a very difficult challenge, but I think we can handle it. And I just pray that we don't get a whole lot of snow, but we're going to get a whole lot of snow. But I just pray it won't be much to the point where um, that may take us 2 days to dig out. You know what I'm saying? It's you know is that we probably got. I think in order for us to do this, we've got to do this non-stop, and that's going to be very difficult for us to do non-stop. And you know, we can get easily tired out and needed a break or something like that. We'll see what happens. All I know is I don't have to worry about driving because my father says that if it snows like crazy, I'll drive you in. So, because my father's got a four-wheel driving truck, I have a front-wheel drive, but it won't do me any good. So I'm not taking any chances. So, whatever. So we'll see what happens, and just pray for my safety. That's all I ask. WFW thoughts number 3 with Walter. And like I said, give me a wrestler's name in the comment section, or give me a match idea. Whether you can face somebody like past or present, or even living or dead. Also, what would have happened? That type of deal. And it'd be very interesting to see what happens. All right, I'll see you guys later. Guys, have a wonderful day, and peace. And I'll see you in the next episode. God bless.